All right, so the plan here is today to replace on some hatch struts. So currently, I don't know if they've been replaced on before, but even to get it up to the top, you kind of got to push because they're just so knackered out. And then there you go, smacks you right on the back of the head as you're putting groceries in, but you can just move it around. It's not holding much of anything. So gonna get these replaced with some new OEM ones. Got them right there. So basically what we need, got some grease for the bolts that go back in, 12 millimeter. I got long and short, just wasn't sure which would fit. Adapter, just because my ratchet and torque wrench are a little bigger. And these are the parts. There's the part numbers. So I'll put that all in the description. So just a quick little interjection here about the part numbers. So basically from Toyota, there are two different kinds of the hatch lift supports. There's these ones, which in the description, both descriptions are very similar, but these ones say for 4-wheel drive, cold spec. The other ones say for 2-wheel drive, they don't mention cold spec, which, I don't know how much of a difference that would really make, but basically these part numbers end in 2-0, and then there's corresponding ones, or very similar to it, that end in 1-0. And basically you gotta just make sure you're getting the right ones, and then right and left, because there's kind of different combinations you could accidentally choose. Just double check when you're ordering, make sure you got the right ones. But as you can see, these ones, 45 bucks each, not too bad. I know they probably used to be a lot more expensive years ago, but considering they come with the bushings and new brackets, I'd say it's a pretty fair deal. What's nice about these OEM ones is they come with the bracket and the bushing, so you don't got to worry about that, because I know the strong arm ones, they don't come with the bracket or the bushing. They just come with this kind of, I don't know what to call it, just this sliver here that attaches to the bracket with the pin through it. So what's nice about the OEM ones is you don't got to worry about making your own bushings, because they're kind of hard to come by. Generally you can't get them, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, from my best guess, pretty much all I got to do is just unbolt those down there. Then we got two up there as well, same on the other side, and just replace on them. I don't think there really is a necessary torque spec. The best that I could guess is it's maybe like 10 or 12, or just something really low, because it's not all too important. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. I have a broom handle here just to help hold up the trunk, because I know it's pretty heavy. So yeah, I'll go get started. All right, so method I got here to keep the hatch up, I got broomstick kind of wedged down in the lock part there, then got a little towel over it so I don't got to deal with two broken pieces of glass, because my front windshield is already pretty well cracked. So just working on unbolting these now. All right, so I got the bottom out. Didn't take too much. It wasn't rusty or anything. I did have to actually lift the gate up beyond that, because this wants to extend out a little further than it had been. It just didn't have enough power to push the trunk up, or the hatch up. So hopefully I don't have to have that resting on the glass too much longer. So I'm gonna get the other one out here. These bolts aren't too bad either, so keep those for the time being. So, got the old one out. Yeah, and then so on these, they got little indicators showing right and left, a little stamp on the bracket there, so best way to tell. And then big black part goes at the top. Yeah, pretty much just follow the example from the other side. It's not too hard. So we get some grease on these bolts out here. Ooh, it's cold. Apologies if it's a little dark. The hatch actually kind of covers all the light coming in, so hopefully it's not too bad. So basically you want the bracket curving out to the right, on the right side. You don't want the shock on the outside of the bracket. You want the shock kind of on the inside of the bracket. So strut, excuse me. These guys started in here. And then what I'm assuming is that I'll have to kind of use my left hand to hold up the lift gate a little bit higher to even get these lower ones lined up. So hopefully it's not too heavy. Get these guys snugged up real quick. We're having a heck of a storm out here too. It's a big winter storm reaching from basically from Mexico all the way up through Maine or so, and we're out in New York, so you know it's none of that rain or ice, it's just snow. Supposed to get about 12 inches or so. Hoping for it. Had to cancel some plans tonight, so that's why I'm doing this instead, but kind of needed to be done at some point, so no better time as the present, I suppose. Got grease all over my gloves already. Yeah, so right now we are off by about 3 inches, or about 3 inches low, so I'm gonna have to lift this gate up with my left hand and try and line this up and thread it in with my right hand. So if you're doing this at home, it might be helpful to have an extra set of hands or so. Oh, that's pretty heavy. Yeah, so basically you need to have it all the way up top. Where'd the other one go? Trying not to cross thread this one, but it's a little bit of a weird angle going in here. Man, these things are cold. Definitely not the best time of year to be doing this. All right, little break. There we go. Whew. This is a workout. I'll tell you what. Seems like it's holding on its own pretty well though. So we'll just snug these up and then onto the other side. All right, well, quick bit of progress. We've already only replaced one of them, and it's already holding itself all the way up to the top. So let's kind of see how it. So that's some improvement. It needs a little help on the way up, but the second one will definitely be well, it'll be easier, that's for sure, with that one holding up a little bit more of the weight. So let's get on to that. I don't know how well you guys can see, but we're actually getting some pretty good snow. Got a couple inches on the ground already. Had about a foot or so, and then rain all yesterday took most of that away. So guess we're kind of getting a clean slate and some fresh new snow. Can't complain about that. All right, so in the light, I guess you can see a little better. Old one on the left, new one on the right. New ones bushings look, well, brand new. Old ones look basically, I'm surprised they're still holding on. Pretty rusty. So that's the top. And the bottom down here, you can see new one, old one. Old one is pretty beat, pretty crusty, not even washers barely hanging in there. So yeah, it's about time these things got a refresh. All right, time for the driver's side. I'm just glad these bolts aren't rusty, you know. This truck, I think as far as I can tell, has lived in Illinois its whole life, so it's pretty rusty, crusty underneath in some spots. Some are worse than others, but generally, you know, makes a project take about 15, 20 times longer than it should. So started feeling a little bit of resistance trying to unbolt these, so lifting up the hatch seems to help a lot in kind of making them happy and not really kind of binding them up with the weight of the whole hatch, pressing down on them, and kind of a half bolted on bracket. So seems to do the job. Man, a nut runner would be nice right now. Just a little bit of gentle finagling. Oh, somehow that hurts less. Let's get this guy back in here. Maybe hopefully it'll hold on that part. Actually, it's not on the window. It's probably a better idea. Got these two guys out. Right into the snow. Alright, got the second one out. A little snowy, but I think with the grease it'll be fine. I'm not worried about putting it back in there. so getting the new one in. Shock kind of goes on the inside, bracket curves to the outside. All right, so now that we got the driver's side old one out, we're gonna get the new one in, and reminder that bracket should kind of be toward, or the strut should be towards the inside, bracket kind of goes out towards the outside, else I assume it's probably not going to close and or bolt in properly. So getting these ones started up top is not an issue.
Down below.
So getting these ones started up top, easy as can be, no issues whatsoever. It's the ones down below that, specifically the very bottom one. So now that we got that one all, it's not snugged up yet, but basically this one needs to go in those holes, but it's definitely a little bit low. It's not as bad as the last side. The last side it was hanging down like here or so, just because there was, well, I think I had this propped up on the glass, so we're gaining an inch there. But generally this needs to go up a little bit more to get in. But the bottom one here, it's on a little bit of an angle, or it was on the other side. Maybe that's just how it was threaded in, but get some of that dirt out of there. Yeah, it's definitely the harder one. The top one in went really easy. Maybe just because of how the bracket's constructed too. I'm not exactly sure, but hopefully it's not too bad this time. All right, round two. Get that lined up, and then, ooh. So it actually appears that the cylinder and the shock had actually twisted a little bit, so the bracket wasn't lining up quite right, but it seems that we've got it good now. There we go. Whew. All right. So, get this stick back in here just for, well, I guess it's kind of holding itself. Look at that. So I get these buttoned up here really quick. So, I know I mentioned the torque spec earlier in the video, kind of a guesstimate really, but I think we're pretty much at that with the snugness of these right now. I don't see them going anywhere, nor any super intense strain being put on them, so I think we'll call that good and done. All right, so this is kind of the fruits of the labor, I suppose. She's standing pretty good at full mast. Nice and smooth. And then kick that out. Look at that. It's like freezing out here too, so I'm not surprised they're a little less peppy than they probably normally would be. I got the part numbers ending in 20, not 10, so from my understanding and talking to the guys at the Toyota parts dealer, these are the cold spec ones, which, you know, I'm not too skilled in the sciences of struts, but I think they're supposed to perform a little bit better in the winter, and they hold the trunk open, and that's kind of all I needed them to do. So we are looking pretty good. Time to say good riddance to the old ones. Yachts. Yeah. Would you look at that? Considering a little while ago, a 10-year-old walking by would have smacked his face on it. I think it's looking a lot better. So all in all, that probably took me maybe 10 minutes of actual effort. Would have taken half that if I had any sort of impact driver or nut runner or anything like that wasn't just hand tools. So easily doable at home. Probably recommend having a second person to help you lift that gate. So by yourself, it is doable, but my shoulders are a little sore. So overall, probably just about one of the easiest jobs I've done on this so far, and I'm pretty happy with the result of it. So call that done.